So, our first impressions review of the fall anime season, and after a somewhat long absence from YouTube, I decided to take a look at the newest anime in the Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha series, simply known as Vivid Strike. Now, I will be honest, I haven't seen any of the various incarnations of the Nanoha franchise in full, but I have seen enough to know what the franchise is basically about. The franchise revolves around the character of Nanoha Takamachi, who is a little girl gifted with the rare ability to use magic. As such, she is recruited from a young age by another young mage to find 21 lost logias called Jewel Seeds. The series and its various sequels follow Nanoha's adventures as she gradually grows up into adulthood and becomes a very skilled mage. However, the Nanoha franchise was itself a spin-off of an earlier series of eroge called Triangle Heart. That I am not as familiar with. The story of Vivid Strike is kind of similar to that of the first Nanoha series, where two young girls who were once the best of friends end up falling away from each other due to various circumstances. In this case, one of the girls is adopted and is trained in martial arts to the point she grows indifferent from a character named Fuka. So, after getting into a fight with a group of delinquents, Fuka collapses in front of a girl named Einhard Stratos, and as she awakens, is offered a part-time job at their gym. She ends up getting into a sparring session with the other girls at the gym and promptly gets her ass kicked by all four of her partners. Talk about ouch. However, just like Rocky Balboa and Mickey Goldmill, after some training by Einhard, she manages to ring out Vivio and acquire her first victory. My biggest question about this series is that, other than a very short trailer for the anime, very little is known about Vivid Strike. From the looks of this anime, it seems that it is focusing on an entirely new set of characters, despite many characters from Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha Vivid showing up in the first episode. That, of course, makes me curious if this anime is a spin-off of the Nanoha series, or it is based in the same continuity. If it is part of the same continuity, it appears to take place after the events of Strikers and sometime after Vivid. But there are certain indications that this could be a completely different story. If that's the case, then this anime seems to literally be a spin-off of a spin-off. There are a few differences between this anime and the rest of the Nanoha series that seem to point out that this is the case. Vivid Strike itself seems to be more centered around fighting and martial arts compared to the magical adventures that Nanoha has in the rest of the series. So yeah, in contrast with the franchise squarely fitting in the magical girl genre, this one seems to more fit in with the fighting girl genre like Tenjo Tenge and Iki Tosen, except with a much younger cast. I can only hope that this anime doesn't resort to the levels of fan service like in those other shows I mentioned. That would be just creepy. Another indication that this anime seems to revolve around a completely different character. While the rest of the series mainly focuses around Nanoha and her set of friends, this anime seems to focus its attention on a completely different person, that of an orphan girl by the name of Fuka Reventon. Overall, it was a good first step, although I fail to see how this anime is going to tie in with the rest of the Nanoha franchise. So far, the only characters we actually see are the newer ones from Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha Vivid, Whether we get to see any of the other characters from the other shows like Fate and Nanoha herself, and whether this anime is a spin-off of the main franchise or is part of the main continuity remains to be seen. I will be keeping an eye out on this one, and maybe this will be the Nanoha show. I can definitely say I watched all the way through. Until then, I will keep you posted. So with that, I give Vivid Strike a 7 out of 10 for initial interest. This is the American Anime Otaku signing out. Like what you see? Then please help support the show by contributing to my Patreon page for special perks, exclusive content, and more.